Welcome to Mindful Traders webinar. This is January 10th. This is the second week of January, and we'll be analyzing gold and going over just what happened, right? And how we saw this 300 pip move and how we knew that was going to happen. We knew it was going to happen because we're at a weekly supply 1960 level. So this was the move on election. We moved up, grabbed liquidity at this premium sell price, sell level here, dropped 1,000 pips. Consolidated, dropped again, right? What we saw afterwards, we tapped into a monthly demand. Monthly demand 1775. If you look on the monthly level, you'll see exactly we tapped that area, rejected, monthly pushed up. Weekly pushed up to weekly pushed up for a couple of weeks. We got to the supply level, price started consolidating there, compressing, and then we saw a breakdown. That's what the sells describe. I broke down the cells exactly why it was going to happen, why where you should enter. We got a break structure, and then we consolidated for a day and a half, right? When we consolidated after dropping 550 pips, price pushed down further and continued to drop over 800 pips. So overall, we saw 1,300 pips in a matter of few days. So January 6th to January 8th, we saw 1,300 pips play out. And that makes you wonder what's going to happen next, right? And there's several reasons that this played out. First of all, technically we're at a supply level, right? Vaccine news, short-term hype. So we're at a supply level. What perfect area to exit into? Would institutions exit their buys that they took over here, took here, all the way, and they could exit right in 1960, right? So thinking logically, you should know that there's a huge chance that we're going to break it, because just for the fact that we've gone up 1,900 plus pips in a month and like a couple of days, right? So, and that's what happened. Basically, this was the target that I had for my analysis, 1855 area. That structure got broken, and then we pushed down to this 4-hour demand right here, right? As you can see, it's a demand from earlier on, so it is a very key level. So dropping 1,300 pips, what could happen next? The price, it could play it in two scenarios, but we do know that we're most likely to see a consolidation phase for a while. I'm not sure how long. We can observe it as we go, but something like this, as you can see, when we dropped from 1965 to 1851, over 1,000 pips in a single day. What did price do? Gold consolidated from November 9th to November 23rd, and then we had a break of structure. Price went down, consolidated more, price pushed down. Excuse me. So looking at something like this and comparing that move here, we just saw something very similar happen, right? So now we're looking at a period of consolidation, but what's going to follow the consolidation is what's important, and we're going to find that out by observing sentiment around the US dollar and gold, and how market structure is developing, right? Since we know we tapped the demand, let's go over the first possibility, okay? First possibility, let's talk about the bearish possibility, and then we'll talk about the bullish. So bearish possibility, on Friday we got we had jobless claims and unemployment, right? So the US lost 140,000 jobs in December, and there was 6% unemployment, right? So it makes you wonder, okay, we have those bad numbers for the US dollar, okay? Powell is also speaking this week, right? So you may think, is it going to go bearish? Is it going to go bullish? So if it was to go bearish, we'd have to have some sort of market structure forming like this. So we can just draw it out. So we have to watch for this market structure. And remember, if the predetermined direction is down, we need to be printing bearish structure, right? Something like that in order to go down. And then we'd have to have a break of this, retest, and then continue down. But that is only if the US dollar starts gaining strength, right? But we saw the opposite on Friday, right? So Friday, unemployment rate 6.7%, unemployment change minus 140K, not jobless claims, 140K. That is like, so does it tell you that gold's going to continue down. No, that provides quite the opposite sentiment, right? So maybe we'll see something bullish since we've tapped into a higher time frame for our demand. So maybe price will still consolidate, but it'll consolidate in a bullish manner where we can then get entries, right? And then gold will push back up to its high. This, just because of this, doesn't mean that the market cycle is entirely changed, because we are still at this 4-hour demand, right? This is a very strong demand. And as you can see, it is strong because we just saw a 200 pip projection as soon as gold came back down and tapped it, right? So we got to watch for sentiment. And we've seen gold do something like this before as well. So all we have to watch is areas where it could start accumulating, right? So price could just as much just consolidate here for a bit. But if you see higher lows and higher highs being made, then you know, okay, maybe we're waiting to break back above the structure, and then we can get clean buys, ride them up to first this supply, this area, and then over here long term. That's only if US dollar continues losing strength. What do we have this week? We have retail sales as well. So retail sales were bad for December. And 1 second, let me buy this. Okay. Yeah, so retail sales were bad for November, the one that got released in December, and we're waiting the January one, and Powell speaking as well. So we're going to have to watch this week for sentiment, but I do believe that we're going to see some sort of phase like this in the market. This was 14 days. I don't know how long it would be, but as you can see, the only entries on this that were good were sells from here and sells from here. Sells from here happened 7 days after we tapped it, and then sells from here were at the very end. Ideally, this is where you want to be entering gold, and even on here, this is where you want to be entering gold. This is where you want to be entering gold, because these are the starts of the move. This is when gold has finished setting up. And I've talked about this in my gold PDF, but that's what, so I do think we're going to see some form of consolidation period. I'm not sure if it'll be consolidation towards the downside, towards the upside, but those are the two possible scenarios to watch for, and what sentiment to look for, right? If US dollar continues to lose strength due to like retail sales being negative, and like how we just lost 140,000 jobs in December, and that's like in 8 months, it's like the biggest loss. Like COVID lockdowns and everything. So the situation doesn't improve, then you can see gold start heading back up. But otherwise, we would have to break past this demand before we make our way down to 1800 first, this area, and then this 1775 monthly support, right? So there's just some things that you got to watch out for. So either you're going to watch for something like this to happen, right? Consolidating, and then break a structure and then down, right? This would play out and play this range, right? But that's only if US dollar gains strength. Otherwise, you'd see something like, so US dollar gaining strength would be like after some COVID getting better, right? Vaccine production getting out, people getting vaccinated, but that it seems to be like it's not such an easy thing to like the vaccine to get out, as in like convince the mass public about it. But otherwise, you might see gold play something like this while consolidating, starts creating higher lows, higher highs, right? So you see that bullish structure forming. And if you see that bullish structure forming in higher time frame, once you break past this, retest right here and then continue up, right? You know, first here over here. But yeah, those are the two things that can play out. This is just my outlook on gold. It doesn't have to play out like that exactly how I analyze it, but I'm just saying that we may see something like a consolidation period for a bit, because we just experienced a 300 pip drop, and gold's not going to move right away, right? We got to accumulate the orders, generate order flow in the market, generate more liquidity, and that's most likely what we're going to see this week. I'll be watching sentiment and updating daily recaps, so make sure you follow that. But if we go into intraday, this is previous broken structure, so it's likely we retest this, right? Because we know structure gets retested. But yeah, I would just watch, because as you can see, even when we do massive moves, prices, gold consolidation December 9th, December 14th consolidation before we did the move, right? November 24th to November 29th, right? Before it went back down. So these periods of consolidation, like they're like a couple days, right? So you want to make sure you're entering when the move is about to start. And something like this, price fell from 1910 to 1865. 500 pips, found support, and then it did the same thing, right? And when people thought we were going to go down here, but so see that something like that could happen again, where this is a valid enough support, where although we saw this sell off, that maybe this is the support where um, we find enough demand and sentiment shifts, and then we start going up, right? Because we just saw bad US data last week. We're expecting bad US data this week. So we're just going to be after watching. And then if we do get all that data, like bad data, then gold can head up. Otherwise, see how market structure during the consolidation period presents itself and base it off that. But I'll be updating. These are just the two scenarios. We on our data, any sentiment that could work towards gold. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a good day.